sports page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog Sports Page brought to you by Kaufman and Lind Injury Attorneys. Don't forget, Jeff Kaufman will be here next hour for Law and Disorder. If you want to get some legal questions over, he'll be happy to entertain those. Where would you like to begin this morning, Mr. Bulldog?
Well, the NCAA men's Final Four is set. UConn, Purdue, NC State, and Alabama. 2 number 1 seeds, UConn and Purdue, advance, as well as the Cinderella team, NC State, an 11th seed, and the football school, Alabama. NC State beats Duke last night, 76-64. You see this beast NC State has, DJ Burns.
Best.
He's like 6'9", 275 pounds. This guy is a Hulk. He scores 29 to lead NC State to the victory last night. NC State, of course, hasn't been to the Final Four since Jimmy Valvano was sprinting around the court looking for somebody to hug when they won the national title back in 1983. So they are sort of the Cinderella team in the tournament. They had to march through the ACC tournament, win 5 straight games in that to even get into the NCAA tournament, and now here they are in the Final Four. Purdue with Zach Edey, man, talk about beast. 7'4" Zach Edey scores a career high 40 yesterday as Purdue beats Tennessee 72-66. He's the player of the year in college basketball. But I'll tell you what, I don't know if anybody's beating UConn. UConn's just rolling right now. They blow out Illinois 77-52. They're the number 1 overall seed. They've won 10 straight tournament games dating back to whenever by double digits. Their NCAA tournament wins this year have come by 39, 17, 30, and 25 points.
That's how we do it, man.
That's your team, isn't it?
Yep. How your Jays doing?
Jays went out. They went out on Friday night. But, hey, it was a gallant effort by my Blue Jays. Alabama also reaching the Final Four for the first time ever with a victory over the other football school, Clemson. That was on Saturday, 89-82. Alabama wins that game. Women's NCAA tournament, undefeated South Carolina beat Oregon State. They're in the Final Four. NC State, again, women, they're going to the Final Four as well. They beat Texas, but we have 2 great matchups tonight. You have LSU versus Caitlin Clark in Iowa tonight to see who gets to the Final Four.
Isn't this the game where the taunting took place? When they?
Yeah, that's a replay of the national championship game last year. Yeah, absolutely. And then you have the other game. You have star-studded USC, a number 1 seed, against traditional powerhouse UConn. So women's Final Four is going to be at least as enticing as the men's Final Four, if you ask me. Speaking of LSU, very controversial coach Kim Mulkey, she blasted another newspaper over the weekend, the LA Times, which actually changed a story about Kim Mulkey, took out some of the quote-unquote offensive language. This columnist for the LA Times referred to LSU's basketball team under Kim Mulkey as the quote-unquote dirty debutantes. So that was taken out of the story. The LA Times sort of apologized, said it wasn't up to their editorial standards. By the way, that Washington Post story that Kim Mulkey threatened to sue over, remember that one?
Yeah,
last week?
Yeah, what exactly is the beef here? What's going on?
I read the Washington Post story. It was a profile on Kim Mulkey. It was a good story. I mean, obviously she's been controversial throughout her career, so it went into some of the controversy. But I thought it was fair and balanced. Thought it was a really good story. So
don't get yourself in trouble with all these other papers, dog. Come on.
Right. Let's see what else happened over the weekend. The Orlando Magic ended a 3-game home losing streak against the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday night. They blew out the Grizzlies by 30 after losing to the Clippers on Friday. Now they end their 8-game homestand tonight against Portland. Hopefully they can win that game because they're still, within striking distance of the 4 seed behind the New York Knicks. So hopefully they can win that game tonight. Orlando City over the weekend, they got lucky. Did you see how they scored their goal?
They did.
Own goal. The New York Red Bulls player sort of kicked it into the goal for Orlando City, an own goal. Orlando City ends up with a draw, 1-1. So they were lucky to get that draw. The Orlando Pride, by the way, they've played 3 games this year, 3 draws. They had another draw over the weekend. So NASCAR. What do we got in NASCAR? Denny Hamlin wins at his home track up in Richmond because of his pit crew. Did you watch any of that race?
I watched the highlights. I did not watch it live, but that late caution there really kind of changed the dynamic of how that ended.
Yeah, late caution. Denny Hamlin gets out of the pits first, and he ends up holding off Martin Truex Jr., who was not happy, by the way. Yeah. Not happy because Kyle Larson, ended up spinning out, and that caused the caution.
How about Scotty the Chef Scheffler almost winning?
The chef sort of choked a little bit.
Mistakes happen by chefs every now and then too. Maybe a little too much pepper in the sauce,
Yeah, but Steven Yeager ends up winning the tournament, his first tournament victory at the Houston Open. But the chef had a 5-foot putt that would have sent it into a playoff, and he misses the 5-footer. So, unchef-like.
Yeah,
well, it was 5 feet. He hadn't missed a putt within 5 feet the whole tournament. So yeah, but the chef will be ready to go when the Masters comes up.
Bulldog, watch any baseball over the weekend?
I watch no baseball.
Oh, okay, all right.
No.
How about the UFL? UFL. What about the UFL kicking off?
I did. I was switching through the channels, and I stopped at an empty stadium to watch a little bit of the UFL. I don't even remember who was playing, but I did.
I think they had more fans than they did last year for these. I don't know.
Well, they combined 2 leagues, so I guess you're going to get double this. 6 times 2 is 12. So.
Sorry.
I didn't see many fans. Of course, I only stopped for like a minute, so I wasn't really watching it that closely.
All right. All right, Mike the Bulldog Bianchi, host of Open Mic on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game, and he takes his time, which is at a premium here, to drop in and give us the sports page each morning, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
Kaufman and Lind. You can listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday, 7:30 a.m., FM 96.9 The Game. Catch extended versions by searching for Under Oath with Jeff Kaufman on your favorite streaming platform.
Lynch and Taco on demand. Download the iHeartRadio app and listen anytime, anywhere.
This is JRR.
From the Bogan Monday